Hi, my name is Becca. Welcome back to Raising Them Simply. Here we share all about our secular homeschool as a family of 5. Today we're going to chat about the 2025-2026 school year and what we are thinking for that. If you are new here, next year I will have a preschooler and a 2nd grader. Their ages will be 7 and 4. And we are already doing some preschool stuff with my youngest right now because she's been begging for school. And so I'm just following her lead. So some of these things are things that my preschooler is already doing that we will either recycle next year if we feel like she needs additional practice, or we will bump her up to kindergarten. It just depends on how things go. We do homeschool here year round as well. So that's something to keep in mind. As we finish a curriculum, we just go straight into the next one. Our level up day is we aim for September 1st. If things don't get finished by then, we continue them until they finish, or if we finish it before that point, we just kind of stop with whatever that curriculum is to have a break until the next year, the next level up day cycle. So that's kind of how we run our homeschool here. First, we will start with my preschooler. So we are doing all about reading the pre-reading level with her. She loves it. It's going amazing. I just did a video on an unboxing with me. I'll link that down below if you are curious about it. We are an all about reading household here. Love that program. And like I said, if I feel like we need to recycle it at some point next year, then we will do that. If not, then we will go to all about reading level 1. I'm taking things super slow with her, guys. So I fully intend for this program to go way past September and maybe into next summer. So we will just see how it goes with that. For math, we purchased the preschool math at home from Kate Snow. She is the one who created Math with Confidence. Love what Math with Confidence. I don't feel like this is necessarily the all about reading, pre-reading, or the preschool math at home. I don't feel like these are necessary purchases at all. These are totally things that you could do by yourself. And these are things that I did with my oldest when he was preschool age by himself. However, I'm finding while chasing a almost toddler, she's gonna be 1 in just a couple weeks, plus my 1st grader, I don't want my middle child to get lost in the shuffle, and I wanna have more accountability and consistency with her. So that's why I purchased those things. I also don't want to have to try to think of things all the time. So it's just easier for me. So that's a little caveat. I don't think those two are necessary, but that's what we are planning for her. Now, anything else that we do with her, she will be listening in if she wants to with her big brother. I do not force my younger kids to have to sit and listen to read alouds or do projects or anything. She'll of course be around in the area while we do our schooling, but if she's playing and stuff, that's fine. I don't do anything else with my preschoolers, like for formal education. Now for my almost 2nd grader. We're doing kind of a 2-part thing with him. We are going back to Build Your Library. We love Build Your Library. We did Around the World, not for this school year, but last school year. Absolutely loved it. I took a break only because I do follow Homeschool Together podcast on YouTube. If you don't follow them, they're great. They're a great secular homeschool podcast. And they mentioned how they took a break. Well, they did All Around the World, went to ancient civilizations, or did prehistory, and now they're going back to All Around the World and kind of beefed it up for their oldest because their 2 kids are close in age. So at first, that's what I thought I was going to do, and do All Around the World this next year with my 2 oldest kids. But then I got to thinking that my son actually really retained a lot of the stuff from All Around the World when we did that. And it doesn't make too much sense to beef it up or repeat it because my youngest 2 kids are actually closer in age than my my oldest and my middle child. My middle child and my youngest are only 2 years apart. So it doesn't make sense for me to do it now to then have to do it again in a couple of years. And build your library is a lot. So I would like to pair my kids up where I can. So instead, we are going to do prehistory. Now, we will be done with our current history prior to next year. And the prehistory from Build Your Library is, I believe, only 6 or 8 weeks long. So the plan is that we're going to do prehistory, hopefully as like a summer thing, to gear us up for ancient civilizations when we do our level update. If it doesn't work out like that, that's fine, but we're still going to do the prehistory first. My son has been talking about prehistory and learning about dinosaurs and stuff like that for years. He's been begging, and I feel like he's old enough to really get a lot out of it and understand it more. So I know that Build Your Library does not have necessarily as much of the dinosaur part, so I plan on beefing up that with a lot of library books and stuff from my libraries that I have access to. So we will drag that out a little bit more. I know like people like Homeschool Together, they added it with the Blossom and Roots because they're really dinosaur heavy and not as heavy on the humans. But I don't want this to be a whole year-long thing. I also feel like with Blossom and Roots, we've done them in the past, and I'm not overly crazy about their curriculum. So I don't want to go ahead and put those two together. So we're going to do prehistory and then ancient civilizations. Now, if you're not familiar with Build Your Library, it is a Charlotte Mason type approach, literature heavy curriculum. They go all the way through high school. But because it's like the Charlotte Mason approach, there's multi subjects in there. So it has an art study involved, which I plan on us doing that in it, as well as maybe adding some stuff from like Ambleside Online, some of their prints. So we plan on that will take care of our art. For science, it is also a nature study. Since I have my preschooler, even though I've done some nature study with my son in the past, I felt like because we're doing 1,000 hours outside and my preschooler has not done a lot of nature study type stuff, we're going to do that for science as well. We also buy a lot of those science experiment kits on Amazon. My son loves those and he asks for them for birthdays and Christmases and stuff. And we have like half-used curriculum or those science kits as well. So my kind of thought process is that we will do the nature study and we're going to do those science experiment kits as our science for next year to kind of use what we have. Now, Homeschool Together podcast, there was also some books that they added. I can't remember what it is at the top of my head. I will write it down here down below and I'll link the books in the description box for you. But there's these book series where you could take like this, you make a square in your backyard or at a pond or whatever. There's different series of these books and you observe what happens to that little square piece of land throughout time. And I thought that would be really cool. We have a family member who has a pond in their backyard we have access to. And then of course we could do our backyard and stuff. So I'm thinking about adding those into our nature study as well to kind of beef that up. But that will take care of art and science for us. And then obviously for English language arts, there's tons of literature in with this. There's geography that's involved with. So it does all of those different subjects except for like more like learning to read and math. So we're going to go and do all of that stuff for Build Your Library. Like I kind of already mentioned, we are an all about reading family. My son has really taken off with reading in the last couple months. It's been so cool to see. So while it's taken us like a year to get to I believe we're on lesson 31, which is fine because All About Reading is a go at your own pace curriculum. we are now whizzing by it really fast. So we did go ahead and purchase All About Reading Level 2. We are going to get that curriculum prepared and everything. I divide it all out and make it more user-friendly so I can reuse it. If you would like to see how I set that up, I could do a video for that for you guys too. Just leave a comment down below. Let me know if you want that video. But I plan on us starting with All About Reading Level 2. With that, All About Reading recommends that you start spelling for their All About Spelling once All About Reading Level 1 has been completed. So we will start All About Spelling rather, once we completed Level 1 of that curriculum as well. We do add Explode the Code to kind of help with our reading and comprehension too. My son loves these workbook games, so we will continue with that as well. And recently, we had purchased all the Bob books, the Bob book readers, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, back when we were trying to find a reading curriculum that would work well for my son. And he's loving reading those books. So what we've been doing, if we're not doing a lesson for All About Reading, he will read a couple of the Bob books and do an Explode the Code sheet. So as long as that keeps going well, we will be doing that into next year too, just kind of going at his pace. My son does not do well doing the same thing all the time when it comes for reading. So we have to mix things up and mesh things together to kind of help with that. So next year, All About Reading Level 2, All About Spelling, Explode the Code, and the Bob books will kind of make up for all of that stuff for English language arts. And then for math, I also mentioned with my preschooler, we love Math with Confidence. My son is thriving with it. He does very, very well with math to begin with. But I just love how this curriculum is laid out, and he really enjoys it as well. So we will be going to the Math with Confidence second grade for next year for his math. So that is what we're thinking about doing for next year for school. My son is really excited. My daughter is beyond thrilled that she's doing school. And I'm feeling really, really good about our curriculum choices for this next year. I plan on doing like a flip through for the prehistory and the level 1 for Build Your Library for you guys to take a look at that and some of the books that are involved with that. I did go ahead this time and purchase all of the spines for both of those instead of getting them from my library, only because it was really stressful when things weren't available. So I have a video coming up for that for you guys here soon too, for a little haul video. So please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get notified when those videos go live. I really appreciate each and every one of you. It's a free way to help support my channel and for you to be notified of future videos. Hit that like button if you like this sort of video, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you've got planned for next year, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.